For the last few years, Prince Mashele, a political analyst, has been writing a book on Herman Mashaba. It's called The Outsider. But the title actually isn't what matters. What matters is this very important bit here at the bottom. The unauthorized biography of Herman Mashaba. Unauthorized biography means that the person who the book is being written about has no say, sign-off, no oversight over the final book. And the reason why you do that is because then people will buy your book because they think this person's impartial, they're independent, they're unbiased, they're telling the truth as they found it, not what the person wants you to think about themselves. So they've been selling this as an unauthorized biography. But then on Sunday, somebody who was paid to research the book said that it wasn't unauthorized. In fact, Herman Mashaba paid Prince Mashele 12.5 million rand to write this book. I guess we now know what's in this bag, which means that he had oversight and he had final say on this project that he funded. It's essentially his Tinder profile. It's fan fiction that he wrote. And they kept it a secret so they could call it unauthorized, so that essentially Herman signed off propaganda can be sold as the unbiased truth. So the book was pulled from the shelves. The publisher, John Ball, came out yesterday and they said, we had no knowledge of this payment. We thought it was fully unauthorized. And then today, Prince Mashele, who I will now be calling Prince Mashambles from this point, made the mother of all Mashambles. So I'll start by referring you to this interview that Prince Mashambles did with News 24, where he said Mashaba would have no right to tell me what to write and what not to write. He said there are things one can and cannot say about one's boss. That's just how life works. Bro, he paid you 12.5 million. He's not your boss. He owns you. And then Prince Mashambles went on JJ Tabane's show and he said that the book was entirely self-funded. So now this is the biggest news story in the country. And so Mr. Mashambles goes on Clement Manyatela's show to try and clear his name. So Prince starts by saying he wasn't involved in the naming of the book. It was the publisher's choice. Bro, if that is true, you're playing with your professional reputation if this ever comes out as it's done, and you chose to keep quiet. And then Clement says, well, why did you tell JJ Tabane that it was entirely self-funded and didn't involve Herman Mashaba? Prince says it would violate his NDA. But then that must mean that you did lie in the other interview, so all you've done is confirm that you are not to be trusted, that you're a liar. This is such a self-inflicted disaster. Utter Mashamble. Well, this is unbelievably embarrassing. Political leader Herman Mashaba funded his unauthorized book. Now it's 2023. You may never have heard of a book before, so let me catch you up. A book is a super old school way of telling a story that's not very popular and makes very little money. But people write books when they want to show that they are serious people. Now, an unauthorized biography is when somebody writes a book about somebody else without their input and permission. And the whole point of it is that you get the raw, unvarnished, unbiased truth about the person. A political analyst called Prince Mashele has been writing a book about Herman Mashaba for 3 years. This is very important. Mashaba is the former mayor of Johannesburg. He's leading one of the fastest growing political parties in the country. And now a researcher on the book is telling us that Prince Mashele is being paid by Herman Mashaba to write about himself. Not only did Prince Mashele get permission and input from Herman, he also received substantial funding to the tune of 12.5 million South African rand for the book. 12.5 million rand to write a book. Unless this book is printed on the same gold that they made the tickets for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, this is sus. 12.5 million isn't giving book, guys. It's giving washing machine. It's giving laundering. Do you know how embarrassing it is to pay somebody to write your fake, unauthorized, warts and all biography? Meanwhile, it's actually basically your Tinder profile that you wrote yourself, and to be found out. Yo, I'm actually so embarrassed on his behalf. You know, like secondhand embarrassment's kind of like secondhand smoking. Sometimes you're around the smoker and it makes you cough even though you're not smoking. Well, and the worst part is this writer even gave an interview where he was talking about another book about Mashaba that had limitations because it was written from the inside. There are things one can and cannot say about one's boss. That's just how life works. Bro, he's paying you 12.5 million in secret. He's not your boss. He owns you. This is such corruption, actually. This is such extraordinary levels of lying and deceit. Like, if these allegations are true, then this Prince guy, who is a political analyst, his career has to end. Like, he's so compromised. You can never trust him again. And also, like, I know a lot of people are talking about voting Action SA in the 2024 elections because they've been let down and disappointed so much by the ANC and the EFF and the DA and everybody else. But, like, if this is your lead, if this is who you have to vote for, the second-hand embarrassment in Action SA, if this is true,